Hello everyone, welcome back. Severtis here, coming back with part 5 of What If Deku Was Like Toji. Now, let's just get right into it. Next day, new way, Midoriya and the rest of his class make their way into the bus. As everybody just chilling and just having their time, Midoriya just kinda sitting there sharpening one of his blades, or playing with his worm, either one goes either way. As Frappy looks at Midoriya after they start talking about who do they think is the strongest in their class. And Kirishima said, well, I'm gonna bet on Midoriya. As Midoriya's like, what? As Kirishima said, yeah, you are. I mean, have you seen yourself in the cameras? You're like everywhere, like going super fast and then punching really hard. As Midoriya said, but that is literally all what I can do. Just punch hard and run fast. If I was to choose somebody, I would say Todoroki. He has mobility and fire abilities. He can create walls and attack viciously. At the same time, he can fly too, if he decided to. As Kirishima said, yeah, perhaps, but you are tactical, you're smart. And besides, your weapons are awesome. As Midoriya said, yeah, they are awesome. As Frappy said, which yeah, by the way, Midoriya, how could you do all of this, Robert? I mean, I know you don't have a quirk, but you sure? It really doesn't make a lot of sense. As Midoriya said, I know. Perhaps you're right, but I don't really have a quirk. No matter how many times I'll say it, I know you guys won't believe me most of the time because it just doesn't sound right. But I don't really have a quirk. In fact, I don't have any quirk genes at all. As Mina said, what, you mean like none at all? Like nada? As Midoriya said, yeah, even the regular quirkless person has a level of quirk gene in his body. And that's why even when two quirkless people get married, their child might have a quirk. It's a slim chance, but he might. But me, on the other hand, I'm completely derived of that gene. When I go to the doctor and, they scan me to know why, they came into the conclusion and they brought up a theory saying that I might be the first sign of a human evolution to combat quirk singularity theory. And that theory says that quirks will gonna evolve into becoming far more stronger than humans could handle them. So the doctor said that I am some sort of the quirks singularity anti-theory, which is basically a human with the strong capabilities to handle any power. At least that's what they say. As Mina said, that sounds awesome, so you're like, what, one of a kind? As Midoriya said, I guess you could say it that way. As Frappy said, that is awesome. As Midoriya said, yeah, awesome. That's what I would call it. As eventually they make their way into the USJ. Everybody goes down, and then, well, 13 just start talking to them after introducing them to herself. As she starts talking, suddenly Midoriya gets a sudden rush of adrenaline. His eyes widen, his body shivers as he have a smile on his face as Midoriya leans forward before pulling out his, spear. As Kirishima looking at Midoriya said, you good man? What are you doing? As Midoriya said, something's coming. As immediately Kirishima said, what are you? As in the middle of the USJ, a portal appears. And everybody looks down to see a black gate open up with many villains pouring through it. As everybody saying, are those fake? As Aizawa said, no, they're not fake, they're real. As before he completed that sentence. In that split second, as if time have frozen, Aizawa sees by his right side Midoriya flying down into the middle of the USJ while Aizawa's like, Midoriya! As he tried to catch him with his, capturing scarf, but he was just too fast for him to be even able to catch with him. As he said, what is that idiot thinking? 13, protect the rest of the student. I'm gonna have to get that stupid idiot. As if after that, Aizawa jumps down after Midoriya with 13 and the rest were about to get out, but they get interrupted by Kirigiri. On the other side, Midoriya down below, he landed on the top of one of the villains, crushing his head into the floor, defeating him immediately, as the rest looking in front of them and they see a child saying, huh, the child? I thought they were gonna deal with his teacher. As he said, yo kid, get out of here before you get killed. As another guy saying, oh shut up, let's just kill him already. That's our orders. As Midoriya said, orders? From who? Would you mind telling? As the guy said, as if we're ever gonna tell you. As Midoriya said, huh, alright then. As then Midoriya pulls out something out of his worm, something long and big. As he pulls out a spear that is wrapped in some sort of scarf on the tip of the blade. As Midoriya spins the blade a bit, causing quite the wind to hit the villains. As he said, then let's just fight already. As the three villains with the bullets try to attack Midoriya, but Midoriya immediately make a quick work of him, hitting them all with his staff, immediately knocking them out. Another villain tried to come and attack Midoriya from behind, but he jumped up in the air, landed on the guy's back, and just chopped his neck, knocking him out. Another couple of villains tried to attack him, but then immediately Midoriya, from his worm, it just spits out a flash grenade without Midoriya's orders, as when that happened, a flash just blinded all the villains, which then Midoriya used to his advantage to knock out as many of them. And when the rest of the villains' eyes managed to get back to work, they all just see Midoriya standing there with at least 20 to 30 villains defeated. And that is even without him trying, as Midoriya said, and that wasn't even without me pulling off my blade. So, who's next? As everybody is shocked, saying, who the hell is this kid? What kind of quirk does he have? As Midoriya said, I thought you guys said that you don't want to chat. Now you have the feeling of chattery? As then Aizawa comes by Midoriya's side saying, what are you doing, you idiot? I told you to stay with the... As Midoriya said, for the record, I did not hear you say that. And beside, as I was the first one that I felt them coming. As Aizawa said, how did you feel that? As Midoriya said, simple, I really can't explain it, it's just, for some reason I always had a feeling for when somebody strong is coming. But those aren't the strong one that I felt. As Aizawa said, then who it is? As Midoriya said, standing in the back, with the sight of that handy guy. As Aizawa said, how about you go back with the rest? As Midoriya said, no, I'm gonna help you here, you can't take them all on your own. And beside, I really wanted some fun. As Aizawa said, this is not fun, this is real danger. As Midoriya said, behind you. As immediately Aizawa dealt with the villain quickly before Midoriya dealt with another one that came from behind of him. As Midoriya said, see, we can work together, Aizawa, with your power and with your quirk and my strength, we can take them all down easily. Just let me help you. I'm already here. As Aizawa said, fine, but stay behind of me. As Midoriya said, not gonna promise you that. As Midoriya and Aizawa proceeded to beat up every single person there. Aizawa erasing their quirk, Midoriya beating their asses, is just a combination of imagination, I mean. A beautiful team. And when Midoriya and Aizawa have finished all the villains, Midoriya sees the big dude right by the side of Shigaraki. That Shigaraki tried to attack Aizawa, which he did, but before Midoriya comes to interrupt Aizawa's being touched by Shigaraki, he immediately gets stopped by a giant monster that took the hit of his staff like it's nothing. The giant monster tried to grab Midoriya, but then Midoriya jumped back and said he absorbed it. It felt like he didn't even take any damage. I'm pretty sure that I hit him hard. As Midoriya looks into the monster saying, this thing doesn't seem alive. I can't hear anything from him. He doesn't have malice or ill will. He doesn't have any will. I guess this is not a human after all. As after that, Midoriya sees Aizawa with his arm being decayed. As Shigaraki said, I've noticed something, Eraserhead. When you use your quirk, your hair starts to float up. So I guess you're not using it right now, right? As Midoriya's like, Eraserhead! As Aizawa said, don't worry about me. As Midoriya said, as if I was going to worry about you, you're a hero. Why would I worry about you? As Aizawa just said in his mind, this kid, I can't allow him to fight here, but he's right. I would have not been able to take all of them down on my own, at least not without some damage. But thanks to him, I didn't even get hit. Right now, I have to trust him. I'm gonna put all my faith in you, Midoriya. As right now, Midoriya looks into the Nomu as he unties his spear, revealing its blade. As Midoriya said, then let's get serious. As Shigaraki, after jumping back since Aizawa was touching him, has stood by the side of Midoriya. As Midoriya right now getting ready to fight, and Izuku said to Aizawa, you see that black thing? It's not alive. I can sense nothing from it. As Aizawa said, not alive? As Midoriya said, yes. As Shigaraki said, well, that is a smart kid. Though I want to know what the hell are you doing here? You're not supposed to be a player in this game. But whatever. Killing you will make All Might feel a lot more sad. So, I guess you figured it out. This is Nomu. An artificially made anti-symbol of peace. It's created to defeat All Might. As Midoriya said, defeat All Might? As if that thing can take him down. As Midoriya said in his mind, I need to keep talking. As long as I keep talking, making him talk, he will not gonna attack. As Midoriya said, so who sent you? And what are you doing here? As Aizawa said, yeah, what are you doing here, villain? And what do you want from All Might? As Shigaraki said, it's simple. We want to kill him, that's it. As Midoriya said, and you're expecting that thing to be able to take him down? If I can handle this thing, then All Might can simply just overpower it. As Shigaraki said, this is not any thing. Boy, this is Nomu. It has regeneration and shock absorption. It could easily take down All Might. As Midoriya said, well, thanks you for telling me his quirks. As Midoriya immediately rushes to the Nomu and tries to chop his arms off, and when he did that, his arms immediately regrow. The Nomu tried to grab into Midoriya's face, but then Aizawa used his scarf to grab into the arm. Immediately, Kurogiri tried to separate both of them because both of them working together, they might actually take the Nomu, so Shigaraki told him to separate Aizawa from the Nomu, which he did by sending him a bit away, so Kurogiri and Shigaraki will gonna handle Aizawa while Midoriya gonna have to deal with the Nomu on his own. Sadly. As Midoriya is looking into the Nomu saying, well, I guess it's only me and you, big guy. As immediately the Nomu rushes into Midoriya as he was about to punch him, which he did punch him, right in Midoriya's stomach as Midoriya gets thrown into a tree. And when Midoriya is down on the tree, you can see around his stomach, his worm have wrapped itself to take the shock. After all, his worm is basically indestructible for the most part, as long as you don't slash it. His worm herself has some sort of a shock absorption level. Not the same as the Nomu, but something that is able to take a hit to protect Midoriya when he needs to get protected. As Midoriya pets the head of his worm saying, thank you, Tor. As then his worm wraps itself back in its old position as Midoriya stand up and said, this thing will be a problem. I guess. As Midoriya pulls out something out of his worm, as he said, inverted spear of heaven. Let's see if this thing really works. As Midoriya rushes into the Nomu and immediately stabs it. As he stabs it in his arm, the Nomu tried to grab him, but Midoriya slashes the arm off, and then proceeded to attack him from behind by stabbing him into the back of the neck, before immediately trying to stab it multiple times into the back, as the Nomu grabbed Midoriya, but then Midoriya, his worm, shot something out of her mouth, a bomb. As Midoriya grabbed the bomb with his other hand, shoved it in the mouth of the Nomu, before the bomb immediately explodes, freeing Midoriya out of the Nomu's grasp. As Midoriya sees his arm is a bit hurt from the Nomu's strong grab, but he still can use it for the most part, as Midoriya's head is bleeding a bit, and said, this thing is far more dangerous than I thought. As Midoriya said, well, in that situation, as his worm starts spitting out a chain, as Midoriya grabbed it, and connect it to his, well, to his spear, or in to his blade as he starts spinning it around saying, "Let's get serious," as the Nomo finally heals itself. On the other side, Aizawa is fighting against Shigaraki, with Shigaraki trying to decay Aizawa, and he is doing that for the most part. However, Aizawa using his quirk to erase Shigaraki's quirk even when he tried to erase him is helping him a lot, but he is being overpowered. 2 against 1 is not really a good matchup for him. As after a while, Shigaraki is saying, "Give up. By this time your student is already dead and you will be soon following him." As Aizawa said, I should get done with this fight already, but I can't run. If I run, that mist guy will teleport me back here. But if I don't, Midoriya might. As then suddenly, something gets shot on Shigaraki. A bullet hits his arm as another 2 try to hit him, but Kurigiri immediately managed to create a portal to cause the 2 bullets to miss. As when they look, they see Midoriya holding a gun. As when Aizawa looks at him saying, "Is that a gun?" As Midoriya said, "Yeah, what's with it?" "Don't worry, I have, I signed this with my, gear, so it's alright." As Shigaraki stands up saying, "Ah, you brat, how are you alive? You're supposed to be dead. The Nomo should have killed you." As Midoriya said, "Oh yeah, the Nomo." As Midoriya tosses something in front of Shigaraki, as he just sees the head of the Nomo. As Midoriya said, "About this guy, yeah, he's dead. Dead like dead. As Shigaraki's like, "How? It's supposed to have regeneration. You can't kill it." As Midoriya said, "Yeah, I don't know, but the head in front of you says otherwise." As Aizawa is also surprised, how did he manage to kill him? How did he manage to handle him by his own? That thing was supposed to, from the guy's words, take down All Might. And, well, it should have been able to with shock absorption and regeneration. It could have been died so easily. How did Midoriya handle him? Anyway, as Shigaraki looks into Midoriya and said, "This can't be happening. No, you weren't supposed to defeat him. You were supposed to be the final boss of All Might. You weren't supposed to be the player that takes down the secret boss." As Midoriya said, "Yada yada yada yada. You keep talking. Well, I guess I'm just a hacker then, if I'm not supposed to be a player." As Shigaraki said, "You cheater." As then finally All Might comes through the door and Midoriya is like, "Speaking of the devil." As immediately Shigaraki tried to run out with Kurigiri, which Midoriya tried to jump after them and, well, capture them, but they managed to run faster than he could possibly jump. And after that, Midoriya is standing there saying, "Damn it!" As Aizawa said, "It's alright. You done well." As Midoriya is having Aizawa putting his hand on his shoulder, and Midoriya looks down to the head of the Nomo. As it starts regenerating a bit, so Midoriya stabs it back with his inverted spear. As Aizawa said, "So that's how you managed to stop it." As Midoriya said, "Yeah, I burned the rest of the body. Only the head remains. Kinda wanted it as a trophy, but I guess I wouldn't be able to keep it as, well, I guess police evidence." As Aizawa said, "Well, you're smart." As Midoriya's, well, grabs the head with the inverted spear, still stabbing into it. If you wonder how does this work, it's basically that the inverted spear constantly keeps the Nomo's regeneration off. As long as the spear is connected, it's gonna have a timer on how long the regeneration will continue. So if Midoriya pulls the spear out of his head, it will start regenerating after a couple of minutes, but for the meantime, it's just a dead corpse. Or a dead headless corpse. Well, just a head, what am I saying? Regardless of this, All Might jumped down, just seeing all the villains in the middle of the area taken down. No, none of them is, well, conscious. He looked to see Aizawa with his arm a bit decayed, Midoriya with his head bleeding, and his left arm is a bit, red. As All Might saying, "What's going on here?" As Aizawa said, "No time to explain. There are a lot of other students around here that need help." As All Might understands, as Midoriya said, "I'm gonna go help some others too." As Aizawa said, "You're bleeding." As Midoriya said, "I can still fight." As Aizawa said, "The fight is over. No need for you to do anything else. As Midoriya said, you are going to go help others, so why can't I? I'm supposed to be trying to be a hero. I'm not gonna be standing by the sidelines and become useless as I ever was before. As Aizawa is writing about that statement, he didn't know that Midoriya never seen Midoriya so worked up on something like this before. But before he even managed to finish his sentence and answer him, Midoriya's already off doing something else, helping another. However, in the end, all this, well, the villains get taken over, or taken down. All Might did not get his secret revealed. Midoriya did help a couple of students. For example, Frappy and Merera in the water zone. In the end, everybody is taken to the hospital. And while Midoriya is chilling in the hospital, he gets, approached by Aizawa after he gets also his arm healed up. He looks into him and, asks him about what happened there. How did he manage to take him down and why did he jump? As Midoriya said, I was the first one to feel the villains coming, so I couldn't just stand by the sidelines. As Aizawa said, understandable, but if you pull a stunt like this again on me, I will gonna have to expel you. As Midoriya said, what? I didn't do anything wrong. As Aizawa said, you threw your life away. They outnumbered you, outpowered you, and most definitely outsmarted you. As Midoriya said, I can't agree on that last part. As Aizawa said, you could have died there. Do you understand? As Midoriya said, doesn't matter to me. Doesn't make a difference if I'm dead or alive. As Aizawa said, what are you talking about? You're a student in my class as much as everybody else. As he said, if you try to do this and throw your life away again, I will gonna expel you. As Midoriya said, understandable, Mr. Aizawa. As Aizawa said, good. I'm saying this because I want you to stay safe. You're amazing. I seen you today. I seen how strong you are. I see you take down somebody who should have been able to take down All Might. And quite frankly, at first I never thought that you could ever do something like that. That you could ever make it to the top. But now, I have faith in you. As he puts his hand on Midoriya's chest saying, you are a hero, with or without a quirk. I just don't want to see such a potential get wasted. So don't throw your life away again. Understood? As Midoriya is so surprised by this, he'd never thought him and Aizawa would ever be good friends. After all, the first day of the school he tried to expel him for just being quirkless. But Midoriya just nods his head and Aizawa said, good. Now, heal up. And take a rest for the next 2 weeks. That's what the principal ordered. As Aizawa leaves the room and Midoriya just chilling there with his worm on his body still. And Midoriya feeling the worm vibrating a bit, and Izuku said, yeah, he is perhaps a good man deep inside. Oh, also thanks. I need to thank the old man about the spear and tell him that it works. But that Shigaraki guy, what was he planning? How did he make that thing? 2 quirks. Just doesn't make sense. I mean, Choda only has 1 quirk, it just has 2 applications. Does that mean that there's something or someone able to give multiple quirks to others? What am I thinking about? I'll take a nap. You're right, I need to chill out a bit. Perhaps Aizawa is right too. As Midoriya just puts his hand on his pillow and goes to sleep. And this is gonna leave it off, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what you think about this part and what do you think will gonna happen in the next part. Well, I have nothing more to say than Severed was here.